Hi, I'm Mark.
I'm Sharon.
This is Ponderosa Garden Adventures. Welcome back.
We're here for a mid-season check-in. We're going to talk about some of the things that have gone really well and some things that are coming up and just kind of how's it going in the season. So,
Yeah, it's mid-June and here in Zone 10A, the gardening season goes from January
February.
through
Yeah.
November. So we get about 6 weeks during the winter when we're not gardening, but then we're planning for the next season. So we're really about halfway through, and we want to just give you an update, have a little chat, and tell you what's going on here at the Ponderosa. And at the end, we're going to have a special event. We're going to be tasting some peach preserves made from peaches grown here at the Ponderosa. So stay tuned for that.
Okay. Where do you want to start, Mark?
Well, we're going to start in the front yard. And the big news there is
We're about 90% done. We did a makeover on the front yard, and it was needing it for quite a long time. It was a big undertaking. We've got a playlist out there. You can see what it started with and where we are. I just did a garden tour, so we'll link that in this video, so you can see what it looks like, what we're talking about if you haven't seen it or you're new to the channel. It's really my focus there is Mediterranean style with kind of a cottage flair. It's drought tolerant with lots of color. And so I think we accomplished that. We did a lot out there this season. We put in a keyhole garden. We did all the planting and clearing, and it's looking fantastic. Everything is filled in really quickly, much faster than I thought it would. And so I'm really happy with it.
we used black mulch to create a contrast with the bright colors. And we did a lot of landscaping, brick.
Right. We did what we did basically, we gave the garden
edging.
some structure. We gave it some parameters, like we did brick edging, and we put in the keyhole garden. We finished that up, and just to give it more definition.
And so the last thing we got to do is the keyhole garden. We're putting a path in there. We've done the whole front yard except for that one part, and we just ran out of time. It's
Yeah, it's just pavers and some ground cover that's going to go in. There's one other section we're still deciding exactly what's going to go in there. So, and that's just our main walkway from crossing it across the front yard. So
that should be done by the end of the summer. But our big hit out there, besides the peach trees, was the artichoke that we planted from this teeny tiny little artichoke that we had for a year in a little container. And now I'll show you a video of it. It is this big.
well, it's getting ready to blossom. So that's going to be really exciting because the artichokes have a huge purple flower. If you don't harvest the artichoke, it actually is a flower, and it will put on a display of this huge purple flower, and it's just spectacular.
Our focus this year was going to be on planting seeds and raising things,
Right.
growing our own seedlings from seed instead of buying the seedlings from.
Right, to minimize the starts that we're purchasing. And we also, one of the other things was to use up the seeds that we have, because the last couple of years with the weather, we did a lot more purchasing of starts. Either because of timing or weather or whatever. And so we actually have quite a few seeds that are starting to become a couple of years old, and so we wanted to use those. And so Mark and I we garden together, but we do things differently. So he's got his way and I have mine, and that's why you'll see sometimes different videos from each of us. And so Mark's going to talk about his success and things with the seeds, and then I'll talk about mine.
Well, I tried growing seeds from by direct sow, by just direct sowing them into planters. But also I tried growing seedlings in little containers. And what I found was that it takes a little more skill and patience to do the seedlings in little containers than if you forget to water them for one day, they all die. But so far I have this gigantic pumpkin. I have a bunch of beans. The beans are doing great, and I have broccoli. For some reason, kale and broccoli always do fine. That kale family, that cabbage family. So those are growing well, and those are all ones that I planted directly into the soil. So for me, that's had more success. But Sharon's had more success with the seedlings?
Right. I started the season by doing some direct sowing in Provence. And I don't know whether it was the older seeds. I think truly more than half of it, I think, was the birds were eating my seeds. We have lots and lots of birds here. And I really think they got lots of my seeds. But I also, in conjunction with that, did start them in seed trays. And some of them were in the little I didn't use the 72 cells this time because I really didn't have great success with that. But I have had great success with using leftover 6-packs like you buy the annuals in. I used a lot of those. And then also the little 2-inch pots, using those and using the water tray underneath so that it's keeping them moist. And I've got to plant them out, as a matter of fact. I've got 10 different pumpkin plants, 2 different varieties. I've got 10 cantaloupes, 2 different varieties, including Tuscan cantaloupe, which I just love. Lots of flowers, lots of herbs, and I just have a ton of things. I've already planted a lot out. We've done some videos on that, but that was really a big success for me, and I'm really excited about the cantaloupes and the pumpkins. I also have a watermelon. Right now, because so many were successful and they're ready to plant out, I didn't really plan for planting 10 pumpkin plants and 10 cantaloupe plants, because usually the germination rate is usually about 30%. So
It's a good problem to have.
it is. So my germination rate was about 80%. And so, yeah, so that'll be coming up. I'll be doing some videos on planting out those pumpkins, and I have a few projects I'm planning on how I'm going to grow those. So, but yeah, it really has been a great year, for the best year I've ever had for seed sowing in trays. So,
Well, on that note, I want to also point out one reason I had success sowing directly is because I put a hardware cloth cage around the seedling area. So it was blocked off from birds, because I had the same problem. The birds came and ate all my pumpkins, all my beans. I think it was the birds. It might have been a bunny. Who knows? Something ate them. I could tell. I came out the next morning and there was little divots all around where I had planted the beans and the pumpkins. And somebody went and dug them up and ate them. So that's the only place I've had real success with the direct sowing. And then we did do some seedlings because we found some on sale.
Of course. You can't pass up tomato plants for $1. I can't.
So,
I don't know if you can. I can't. So we have some of those, and I did do the calabrese broccoli and the beets. Those were really successful. They looked fantastic in Provence and filled it up. The calabrese never did flower, so I never did get any broccoli from it, but we've been eating off the leaves, and the leaves are fantastic, and it's been providing great shade for the lettuce and the cucumber that's now growing in there. So, but it's almost time to pull those out.
We love to talk about our grapes. Our grapes are ripening, and
yes, I did a prune. This is the second year that I've done a pruning on the grapevine, and it really makes a difference. It is even more prolific than it was before, but we're getting a lot more fruit, and so we've got big bunches of grapes on the original grapevine.
now it is red flame.
Red flame, that's it.
Because they turn bright red. They turn all different colors though. When fully
Almost
ripe,
purple. Yeah.
they turn this really dark, almost purple. But they never get fully ripe because the birds love to eat them. So we
have to harvest
we harvest them when they're partially ripe, and they'll be yellow, orange, red, all different colors, and they're really delicious. Very, very sweet. It's a very sweet grape.
Right, and then the second grapevine, which you may or may not be able to see behind us on the
Right over there.
Tuscany Arch, is doing really well. It's had gophers going for it, so we've had to cage it, but it's growing really strong. And again, it is a perennial, and so this is it's sleep, creep, leap. And so the first season, I don't expect we're going to get a bunch of grapes from it, but we'll see what goes on later in the season.
So the big thing here in Zone 10A is water management. We have a lot of droughts. We have a super El Nino coming up this summer, which means hot temperature, Santa Ana conditions, dry, hot, low humidity. So we really want to have all of our watering issues taken care of before the heat hits in a couple weeks.
Right, and we're here. We're on city water. We don't have a well here, and so water is very expensive. So not only do we want to make sure we're irrigating our plants and taking good care of them and getting good harvest, we want to make sure we are also watching the cost. And so, whatever we can do to be the most efficient with our water use is important, and for conservation, of course. We have a system here that is basically timers on hose bibs and ball valves. We don't have a manifold with a nice ratio system. That's on our wish list for the future, but we just are not putting the investment in that right now. So we make sure that at least once a month we are testing the system, making sure that it is running properly on each of our different zones. And we are also looking at how often we have to, this is the time of year where we have to kind of really pay attention to our scheduling. You know, we're just getting ready, as a matter of fact, today to go through and change from every other day watering to everyday watering, because we've hit that part of the year, really starting today, where we will not fall below 80 degrees. And sooner rather than later, usually around the 4th of July is when we first hit our 100 degrees. And it's just going to live in that like 85 to 105 all the way through the summer.
But it's not just irrigation. Other things you can do to conserve water is to keep refreshing your soil with fresh compost.
Right. What I've done is I've made a really concentrated effort this season. I've not always the greatest at taking care of my plants in pots, and we actually do have quite a few, because in the yard, because we deal with pest pressure from moles and from gophers and that, we do still plant many things in pots. And what I made sure to do this time is to go along and make sure you lose a little bit of soil every year. And so I made sure to top off the soil. I made sure to give a good slow release feeding, and then mulch. I use cedar mulch because a lot of the pests don't like that smell, and it really has made a huge difference. And so I'm still in that process, because again, we have lots of pots, and when I'm doing new plantings, I'm making sure to do that, so that I'm going through and I'm mulching, because the mulch makes a huge difference. It helps with the water retention, it helps keep the soil cooler, all of those good things. And again, the cedar mulch I find really helps with some of the pest pressure.
And the other thing we've been doing the last few weeks or the last few years, I meant to say, is installing rain barrels. And that's really been a good benefit, especially this year, because we've had frequent, like, just rain showers, not like huge rainstorms, but more like April showers. And just like a 15-minute shower isn't almost enough to fill up all the rain barrels. They're 40, 50 gallons each. We have
50
three
gallons.
of them.
Yes, we added another one at the beginning of the season, or the end of last season?
End of last season.
End of last season.
We have videos right over there behind
Right.
us. We're planning to add another barrel or two, or maybe even just like attach a second one to some of these so we can
Harvest more.
But right now, with 150 gallons, that will last me at least 2 weeks of hand watering all the things in containers that don't have any irrigation on them.
And it's better because, again, as I said, we're on city water, and so, you know, we have hard water here, and so it really is better for the plants.
So we probably get like 500 extra gallons a year, maybe 1,000 out of those barrels.
Yeah.
I use it on a daily basis. So rain barrels are definitely worth the effort. They're really easy to install, and they're not that expensive.
Another thing that we're doing, the next area to talk about, is here in the backyard. We have a long walkway. It's a very long, narrow yard. And so we've got a long walkway, and I already started on this big project. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I have this vision of what that's going to look like out here. Right now it looks very dry. It's dirt, and I've already installed the rose arch, which is at the very entrance to our back garden here. And the next thing we're going to be doing is edging that in brick. And so we've started that. I'm doing a section at a time. And I'm going to be lining those brick with flowers down the way. I'll talk more about it in a separate video, but we really are going to concentrate on finishing off the look here in the back garden, because that's really a big area that has not been addressed It's been very functional, but not very pretty. And so we're going to work on that.
Yeah, we spent years with landscaping, sort of separating it into little
It's
gardens,
garden
sub-gardens. Like
rooms.
right here, we're in a garden we call Tuscany. We have holiday meals out here. It's really wonderful. That's really the payoff for gardening. Is look at this. This is so beautiful.
Right now, these are the immediate projects we're working on, and I'm really happy with the way things have come along. When I started at this property 20 years ago, the backyard was just uh, a long, narrow patch of weedy grass and a big sycamore tree, or no, a
Mulberry.
mulberry tree in the back. And it's taken a lot to have a vision to be able to put some structure. I do like, structure in the garden. I'm not so much a formal garden person. I like some formality, but when I decided to do garden rooms, it really helped define what was going on in the garden. And it's really kind of all coming together now as the garden's getting more mature. So it's time to kind of fine tune those things like the walkway and some of the other areas.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough. If you're beginning a gardening, this does not happen overnight. You can't do this in a weekend or
No.
one summer. We've been doing this for close to 10 years. So it's inch by inch. We think of it like we're gaining territory. Okay, we weeded this area, then we mulch it, and then we start planting and stuff.
It's true. You do take back when you're starting with a blank slate like that, and you're not coming into an already landscaped area. You really do, like where the greenhouse is going to go. It's like we've taken this area back again. We've got edging in and plantings in around the edge. We've mulched it now, and we've leveled it out so it's ready for the greenhouse to go in. But before that, it was just kind of a wild area that wasn't really structured. There wasn't anything going on in that area, so it wasn't being used. And so I'm really happy that now we are utilizing probably 80% of the back garden. We still need to work on our Paradiso area because right now that's where all of the greenhouse parts and components are, including dirt to fill the planters back there. So
And of course, the garden's never finished.
no, of course not.
But our approach has been to just divide it into small areas, small gardens that we
garden
give
rooms.
names to, and then approach it that way is much more manageable. All right, well, we want to finish this up with something really exciting. We have is it golden delicious? No, golden desert.
We have a desert gold peach tree in the front yard.
A desert gold peach tree in the front yard.
My favorite
it says
story
right here
from
on
that is
Desert
how
Gold.
we got it. I was walking out of the garden center and I saw this beautiful tree. I thought it was just a decoration for the garden center, and I said, "Is that for sale?" They said, "Absolutely." We had a four-door sedan we were in at the time. We didn't have my SUV, and to get it home, it went in the back of our sedan. We've got pictures where it's coming out the window. I mean, when you're a gardener and you find something you want to have and you're like, I have to have that, you find a way to get it home. So we did. It's loving its life where it's planted. It's the perfect spot, and it has been a prolific provider of peaches, and they're juicy and delicious.
This year we even pruned it way back, thinned it out. We still got 40 or 50 pounds of peaches. So
big peaches too.
We're always every year, and they ripen in 2 weeks, and then they only last for about a week. So you have to do something with all these peaches. So last year I decided to make, what am I calling these? Preserves?
Yes.
Desert Gold preserves, which is basically I took the peaches, I cooked them down, I put a little bit of pectin, a little bit of ascorbic acid as a preservative, and also one of them I put habanero in. So we're going to try that one, or I'll try that one and see what that looks like.
It's the one I asked for because I had purchased some peach habanero salsa, probably from Trader Joe's or somewhere, that was really, really good. Excellent on fish. And so I said, can you make some?
Now I have another one that has Carolina Reaper, but I don't really have the courage to try that today.
I'll skip that.
So I think we're going to skip that one. We'll just try these four. So actually I've got 2 different kinds that I made, and then I've got 2 store-bought kind. All right, so we'll start out with the store-bought one. Now this is Smucker's Peach Preserves. All right, I want to try this one first because it had the same ingredients. It's just peaches. Well, this one has corn syrup, fruit pectin, and citric acid. I used just regular cane sugar, but only a small amount, less than a cup in the whole batch, because the peaches are so sweet. But you need a little bit of sugar to activate the pectin. So you can see.
What it looks like.
So, yeah. The reason for the ascorbic acid, citric acid, ascorbic acid, is that it preserves the color. So let's try this one.
It's very sweet.
It's very sweet. It's kind of a mild peach flavor.
Let's start with the non-hot one.
See, it's about the same color. This is going to be just the regular peach reserve. This same thing. It's got peaches, a little sugar, some pectin, and ascorbic acid. You can see it's the same color. Now this one is a jar that I bought that does not have any preserved ascorbic acid or anything in it. And you can see how it's darker color. So that's why I put the ascorbic acid. It's just vitamin C, but it prevents it from turning dark and brown like that. So we're going to try this one next. One thing I would say is, it appears to be a lot more fruit. This is the one I made, and it appears to be a lot more fruit than there is the Smucker's, the manufactured one. So let's have a taste.
Much brighter peach flavor.
Much stronger peach flavor, and not nearly as
Not
sweet.
as sweet, but in a good way. I thought the other one was too sweet for me.
Me too. So that is a winner. That is really good. All right. Now let's see what happens if we don't have the preservative in there. What does this taste like? I don't see any whole fruit in it at all. I think this has like...
There's little tiny chunks if you look up in the light. There's little bits in there.
There's little bits, but I think it's mostly like peach juice and peach puree.
As
you can see, it's kind of gelatinous, it's really more like a Jello, and this is the store-bought jam. This seemed to have a little better texture, a little more peach flavor, not quite as sweet, although sugar is the first ingredient.
It's still too sweet for me. I prefer to get more of the peach flavor. It's kind of like having peach flavored ice cream. A lot of times it doesn't have a lot of that peach flavor in it.
All right, we're down to the last one now. You can see the little orange spots in there. That is from the chunks of habanero. I do not remember what the ratio of habaneros I put in here. I think I put 1 or 2 in the whole batch, so it's going to be probably like less than 1 in this jar.
Okay.
I'm expecting it to be hot. Hasn't hit yet.
No,
now it is.
There's heat on my tongue.
Oh yeah. It's got a good kick. That would be a really good salsa.
I really like peach salsa. I use it a lot. Like I said, I use it on fish. It's really a nice topping for like a cod or a whitefish that's a little firmer.
So that's it. So a big success. How do you think?
I like the habanero, peach habanero.
Yeah.
That's my favorite of the 4. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope you'll join us again here on Ponderosa Garden Adventures. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and give us a comment to let us know what are you growing in your garden? What did you enjoy about this video, or do you have any questions or comments? Just put them down there. We love to talk about gardening, and we'd love to see you back here again on Ponderosa Garden Adventures. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.